This is Liquid Lunch. It's going to be a mixed bag today. It's me, Hugh. Daryl's coming in later. We got a lot of guests lined up. Surprise co-host today, Bernie, joining us on the couch.
Good day, everybody.
Bernie, always good to see you here. Did you get any coffee yet?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Okay. And, of course, we got Rick Cordeiro also here. Canada's, what is it?
Al Capone of Toronto?
Al Capone.
Yeah, I'm trying to push more of the comedy now because I'm getting cast more to play the comedic roles.
Oh,
because
yeah.
if I keep branding Al Capone of Toronto, people are going to think that's all I can play. But I'm versatile. I play all genres, but I'm having more fun playing comedy now. So.
Well, you did a great job as that herpes virus.
I got to be still on TV, actually, across Canada for the Clara commercial, where you see this girl, she has like a cold sore on her lip, and then when you zoom in on the lip, you see me dancing around in this costume because I'm supposed to be the cold sore bacteria. So my friends are saying, so in other words, you're playing like a herpes virus. I go, yeah, I think that's how you can see it. Yeah.
Now, is that method acting, Rick?
You know, when they gave me that costume, costume helps you get in the character too, right? I kind of look like with that costume. Remember the old Fruit of the Loom underwear commercials?
Yeah.
I look like a bad berry in that red and pink costume they made me wear, and I had to wear it all day, so I was sweating in it. And then I had to go to the bathroom. I said, geez, I got to take this costume off. It took me a long time just to put it on. I got to go to the bathroom now, too. Geez. So anyways.
Well, you mentioned Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to use that as a segue to get into our topic today because I heard that Fruit of the Loom is a Mandela effect. Did you hear about that?
Oh, tell me about that one.
I think it's, if I remember correctly, it's remember they used to have the cornucopia? You know, the horn of plenty with all the fruit and everything that? That was part of the Fruit of the Loom thing?
The grapes and the apple.
Apparently that never existed now. In this timeline.
Interesting. It's just like the Jaws one where he's fighting Jaws in the cable car and he has the silver braces, and at the end he meets the girl with the glasses and she smiles at him and she's supposed to have braces. I remember.
That's why they got together.
When you watch it, she doesn't have the braces anymore. That's where did the braces go? It's the Mandela effect.
And what about the one? I don't think we talked about this, but C-3PO's silver leg.
Exactly. I never noticed a silver leg before. He was all gold.
Bernie?
All
gold.
All of a sudden, he's got a silver leg through it. One of his legs is silver.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he lost it in a fight.
Yeah, but originally when we saw Star Wars, when it came out in 1977...
It's in the original first Star Wars movie.
Yeah, he was all gold.
But now I think he's got a silver leg in like the first Star Wars movie.
Yeah, right? Now when you look at it, it's like, when did that happen? Even like the JFK assassination. I remember 2 people sitting in the front and JFK and his wife. Now when you see it, there's actually 6 people in the car. Where did the other 2 people come from?
I'm not sure about that one, Rick, because I kind of sort of remember 6.
I remember 4. So now we're on a different timeline, the 2 of us here. That's the Mandela effect. You got to look it up. It's really crazy and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But Okay, so what else you want to talk about today, Rick?
Today is the anniversary of when the Denver International Airport opened up.
Okay.
February 28, 1995.
Here we go. We got a picture here.
This is one of the murals, one of many murals they have with end of world scenario that was painted by a guy named Leo Tanguma. And first of all, this airport had 16 months in delay before it opened up and $2 billion over budget. And other thing about this airport is Queen Elizabeth II bought a lot of property around the airport.
Really?
Yeah. And there's a blue horse statue.
Do we have that picture of the blue horse? I've got some new information about the blue horse statue.
Yeah, officially it's called a Mustang, but it's nicknamed Blucifer.
Yeah. And
has red eyes that glow in the dark. And apparently it's supposed to be cursed because the sculptor who built the statue, it accidentally fell on top of him and severed the arteries in his leg, and he died from it.
I know.
So it's nicknamed Blucifer. And then there's a Masonic dedication stone with the heading New World Airport Commission, which is an organization that doesn't even officially exist. And it's got like the Masonic emblem with the compass and the T-square on that. And and then some of the runways, when they get an aerial view of the runways at the Denver International Airport, it's shaped like the next one we're going to show, like the swastika, the Nazi. You see it there? Those are the runways at the Denver airport.
Yeah, I see it.
So, and there's supposed to be these a lot of conspiracies that revolve around this airport, like underground tunnels and a FEMA camp underneath there. It's like it's gonna be used, they say, potentially for one of these end of world scenarios where the ruling elite go to as a shelter when all hell breaks loose. And when you look at where it is, Denver is right in the center of North America, far away from the Atlantic coast, far away from the Pacific coast, on the top of the Rocky Mountains. So at least on the North American continent, you would think that would be a safe place to be, underground in the mountains.
It's also the highest elevation. It's over Mile High. That's why
Right.
It's got Mile High Stadium, right?
Right. But you were going to say something about the Blucifer
Yeah, the Blucifer.
statue.
I don't know if we can get a picture of Blucifer here, the
Yeah.
horse, but something that I just heard very recently, within the last week or two, was that now you've heard about all the time travel stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so apparently, when they were doing all those time travel experiments, the Montauk, blah blah chair, all that stuff, they could not see further than 2012.
Oh.
So they could not actually get a clear picture of the future beyond 2012. So all this Mandela effect stuff started after 2012. Now, but what they did come to, they all came to this one vision or scene, and that was, they couldn't go further than that. And that scene had a horse in it that the description of which was very much like Blucifer.
They say that statue, the blue horse, the Blucifer, is supposed to be a representation of the biblical 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Well, there was 4 of
them. So that's what that's all about. But that's interesting. Maybe it's not the first. Yeah, it's not the first with the red eye glowing there in the dark at nighttime. It's not the first that I've heard that they can only go as far as 2012. Then people say maybe it's because of CERN in Switzerland. They messed up with the timelines and stuff.
Well, that's what there's a bunch of theories. CERN is one of them about the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
A bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, but it's really weird, the Mandela effect. It makes you wonder.
Yeah, it's weird. Some people are having and there's a real alien.
Yeah, this is E.T. the Extraterrestrial. And if anyone out there is a fan of Major League Baseball, you recognize the person on the right is Jose Canseco. He's built like a Greek god Hercules, 6'6", 250 pounds of rock solid muscle. Played most of his years in the majors for the Oakland A's, and also played 2 seasons for our Toronto Blue Jays.
That's right.
If you go to his Twitter account, he's telling people that if you have $5,000, you can join Jose Canseco on a hunt for Bigfoot. And also, he'll take you to where the authentic sites of UFO sightings and proven Bigfoot habitat for $5,000. He says on his Twitter account, I'm not making this up, and he claims that he's in contact with extraterrestrials, Jose Canseco. And he says that the aliens have told him that it is possible for humans to time travel with their brains without the use of their bodies, but in order for that to happen, they have to change the compositions of their bodies, the way their bodies are made up. Now, some people joke around and says, well, you took anabolic steroids when you were playing baseball. That changed the composition of your body. Does that count? So that was a little bit tongue-in-cheek. But he says that the extraterrestrials have also told him that the U.S. government, some of the members are made up of people who are either androids or extraterrestrials themselves. This is Jose Canseco saying all this stuff on Twitter. So I thought I'd post that up there. The offer still stands. If you have $5,000 to get to Jose Canseco, you can join him on a hunt for Bigfoot, and he'll take you through to authentic sites where you can see the UFOs and the orbs flying around.
Well, apparently there's actual Bigfoots in Ontario.
That's right.
I
know someone that was in the UFO group that I belong to mentioned to me that he witnessed that himself in Ontario. And as discussed the last time I was on here, there's a police detective in the U.S. named David Paulides, a former police detective of 25 years. Now, what he does is he investigates the people that go missing in national parks. And last year alone in the U.S., over 650,000 people went missing in national parks. If you include the numbers of all of North America, Mexico, and Canada, it's 800,000 people put together. On the side note, he's also written a number of books with the heading Missing 411, where he documents his personal quest to search and to prove the existence of the Bigfoot monster. Now, you won't have him come out and say that all these people are going missing because of the Bigfoot monster, because he says he doesn't want to wreck his credibility as an investigator for these families of these missing people. So what he does is he'll share with people his findings during these investigations. He'll present all the facts, and then he leaves it to you, the listener, to come up with your own conclusions as to what happened to these people that went missing. But when you listen to a lot of these stories, a lot of them sound very paranormal in nature. But the reason why I also bring that up about the Bigfoot and David Paulides, there's another person by the name of Nick Redfern who also is on a hunt for Bigfoot, and he's an award-winning author, cryptozoologist, and a paranormal investigator. And he wrote a book that I have and I've read already. It's called Bloodline of the Gods, which talks about the origins of the Rh-negative bloodlines and how these bloodlines, like people say there's a missing link, there must be an off-planet origin of these bloodlines. And if you look at all the royal families and the ruling elite of the world, they all have the Rh-negative bloodlines.
Just like you, Rick.
Just like you, Rh-negative, but... And believe me, I'm not royal. I mean, if you look at my bank account, definitely not royal, because my numbers and my bank account don't match Queen Elizabeth and Prince Charles, who both have openly admitted they are Rh negative. Anyways, Nick Redfern, the author of this book and many others, he's also on the search to prove the existence of the Bigfoot monster. But unlike David Paulides, who won't admit that these people go missing in our national parks because of the Bigfoot, Nick Redfern, on the other hand, he says these people go missing because of the Bigfoot and because of UFOs. I don't
know. That sounds like it could be disinfo.
It could be, but that's another. I always like getting other side of the coin or a different perspective on things. But that's what he presents. But I actually like reading this book. This is where I'm learning a lot about the bloodline origins. I was walking through Indigo Bookstore, not too far away from here. And I went through the paranormal section, and this book just jumped out on me because it was like facing me and it was sticking out. I go, that's definitely a book I got to read, because I've been on your show a lot in the past talking about the bloodlines and the Rh negatives, and that's what this guy talks about in this book. And so that was interesting. I thought I'd bring that up because he's connected with the investigation of the Bigfoot creature. And strange thing is, I don't want to say no one seems to have any good photos available. There are some, but I kind of look at them and I kind of think that they look like they could be fake. I don't know if they're true or not.
Well, I got to say, and Bertie, did you want to say something here?
I was saying, with all the so-called Bigfoot sightings and stuff like this, you'd think by now they would have found a skeleton.
Well, same with like UFOs, right? Like, where's the actual UFOs, right? Like, nobody's...
And Area 51, they confiscate the stuff,
yeah.
and then they do the back engineering.
They
don't know
that's
that.
That's a rumor, right?
That's a rumor.
So the thing
conspiracy theory.
is like some people say, like there's a whole site out there, you can Google it, Sasquatch Ontario, right? Yeah. And there's video, not of the Sasquatches, but of... Apparently, you can hear them. There's audio tapes of these. These are done in Ontario.
Mm-hmm. And their footprints.
And also, they build these little structures in the forest out of branches and stuff like that.
Right.
And they give marbles. It's weird. They give marbles and drawings to the people that are living in those areas.
Right.
So, and people have said before that maybe the Sasquatch is like an extra dimensional. Like maybe they're not quite in the same dimension that we are.
Yeah.
Same
exactly
thing.
Able to go like the Anunnaki. Apparently, they could go between this world and in the other world.
Yeah. So maybe we won't actually ever be able to put our finger on put a Sasquatch and mark.
No, because some people say there might be interdimensional beings and they usually happen right around whenever people see a UFO sighting or a sighting of these orbs. They think there must be a connection there. Because some people believe they have some sort of invisibility cloaking ability. Like in the movie The Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse Ventura, when they're looking for the Predator monster, he's invisible, but you can kind of almost see the outline of him, almost like looking through saran wrap. And then at the last minute, that's when you can see the Predator. That's how they say the Bigfoot creature is. It has some sort of invisibility cloaking ability, and that's why they think it's some sort of the interdimensional being that can pop in and out of our dimension and back into theirs. and they always seem to be connected with the UFO sightings for some reason. And as we mentioned before, maybe the Bigfoot was the inspiration of the Chewbacca character on the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I also wanted to say, not that I'm a big fan of the Clintons or anybody at that level in politics, but yesterday was Chelsea Clinton's birthday, the daughter of the former president, former First Lady Hillary Clinton. She celebrated her 39th birthday yesterday, so maybe she went to the Cannibal Club, because allegedly she's one of the regulars. Allegedly, that's a magic word. Allegedly, one of the regulars at the Cannibal Club in Los Angeles, along with Meryl Streep and pop diva Katy Perry.
Really?
There's actually a website online, Cannibal Club. You can Google it, and I don't know how a restaurant like that can have a website online and be allowed to advertise that they serve human meat, which begs the question, where are they getting their meat from?
Yeah, I went to that website.
Yeah. So they have their menu on there, but they don't disclose where the location is. It's top secret. And you'll find menu items like sirloin or placenta lasagna, stuff like that.
Ew.
Well, this is Bill Clinton saying, I did not have extraterrestrial relations with that alien. I just thought I'd pop that in there since it was Chelsea's birthday yesterday.
Well, that's...
But that's enough of the Clintons for today. Just like I said last time, that's enough of George W. Bush last time, because once upon a time, long ago, when he was still living in Hanover, Michigan, or Massachusetts, he was a male cheerleader. And the Super Bowl we had this year with the New England Patriots and the Rams featured male cheerleaders for the first time in NFL Super Bowl.
all part of the big trans agenda, right, Rick?
Yeah, transhumanism, transgender. It's because of the transhumanism movement.
Yeah.
You know, once we're online, does it matter if you're male or female when everything's all digital?
On the internet, nobody knows
Nobody
you're
knows.
a dog.
That's why even some of the options when you join social media, it says male, female, or
Neither.
what's the third? There's a third option, and then the fourth option is undisclosed, whatever. But the third option means you can go either way, transgender, whatever it is. Just like some of the washrooms here on the third floor.
Other.
It's a transgender washroom.
Yeah,
That was Bernie's idea.
It was. You like that? That sign is perfect. Isn't it?
Is that your idea?
Yeah.
On the third floor. On the washroom here, the one on the fifth floor, but I used the one on the third floor. It was a transgender washroom. I figured maybe it'll be a good way for me to meet someone else.
Well, it's not a transgender washroom. It's a.
Well, that's what it says
what
in
is
the
it,
sign.
Bernie?
What's the
It's like
proper title?
a unisexual.
Yeah. It's just
There
an
we
open
go.
bathroom. Anybody can use it.
There we go. Just like as if you're at home. Mom and dad.
Exactly.
That's what it is, you know.
Well, people
we're all
complain
family here.
People have complained about these washrooms in schools and
Right.
in bars and restaurants now, but they've been using them for many, many years, and they were called outhouses before.
Right.
Right.
Anybody can use
The
them.
nice thing about outhouses is you don't actually have to flush.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. There's actually, believe it or not, some people in North America that still use outhouses. I remember when I was younger visiting family back home in Europe, they were still using them. But then when I went back there again when I was in my 20s, they had modernized washroom with flushing toilets and stuff. So, wow, that's a big relief because I said I couldn't believe it. People are still in the 20th century using outhouses.
Bag of lime inside.
Yeah. It's like, I got to go out to the washroom. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, but there's like a big thunderstorm outside. So I got to walk across the fields and the farm just in order to do a nature call. But, you know.
The thing is, though, the guys should just step off the back porch and just let it fly there, dude.
Well, there's certain things you can let fly, Bernie, but
Yeah,
certain other
but
things
when it's
a little more
coming in from the
difficult.
back end, you got to use the outhouse. That brings us to a good segue for the next subject, Vlad the Impaler.
Oh, yes. Good old Vlad.
Prince Charles openly admits that he's and his family are direct descendants of Vlad the Impaler, who is the inspiration for the modern-day Count Dracula in cinema. Vlad the Impaler, to this day, is a national hero in the country of Romania. And known as Vlad the Impaler, Vlad III, died when he was 45 years of age. Now, there's a vampire satanic society that exists, and believe it or not, whose members admit that drinking blood is more addictive than heroin. And there are people out there that actually drink blood, part of these cults, and believe that they are vampires.
That's where maybe all these missing people in the national parks are really going.
Yeah.
Rick.
There you go.
Right?
Whether you're joking or not, that did cross my mind
joking.
too.
And
That did cross my mind too.
I just heard there's in Virginia, I think this is just out now, they're going to allow post-birth abortions.
That's pretty scary stuff.
Well, what are they doing with these kids?
They're sending them to the cannibal club to eat because that meat is very pure. It hasn't been like ours. Like we go eat at Tim Hortons and hamburgers, and we got all sorts of crazy stuff in our bodies. But a young kid born, it's pure. So they'd rather eat meat from
apparently
people.
the meat, the blood, and they extract hormones. That's where that drug adrenochrome is supposed to come from tortured babies.
That did cross my mind when I was doing the research on the people that go missing in national parks. It's like, well, there are these things called the Cannibal Club, and it seems to be on the rise, cannibalism. And then you hear in the news last week that they had to pull some sausages and wieners off the shelves in our grocery stores in Toronto because the what is it in Canada? Not the Food and Drug Administration, but something. Health Canada. They said that there were some items that they found in the sausage that was not listed on the package under the ingredients.
Yeah.
And there's been cases in America where they actually used human meat to make sausages. And that's what people...
Where was that?
It was in America, and even like some of these fast food places in America were closed down because they found these dead corpses in the back lot behind the restaurant that they were using to make the hamburgers and the sausages.
Human meat pies. It's like that movie.
Yeah.
The Johnny Depp movie.
Yeah. So this...
Where he was a barber?
Oh, the scissor hands?
No. The one where he was a barber. And they were killing people, and the woman downstairs was making meat pies with them.
Well, look, now you got that show, what's it called? The Santa Clarita Diet or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
It's all about cannibalism.
Right.
Like, is this really going on, Rick?
They seem to be pushing it. Like, there's that TV show Dexter, who's about a serial killer that kills and eats serial killers. And the show starts off with him, slicing the meat and throwing it in a frying pan like it's bacon and cracking some eggs, and that's what he has for breakfast. So it seems like they're kind of like, it sounds almost like they're getting us conditioned to accept the idea of humans eating other humans. And then, I had lunch yesterday at A&W Hamburgers. What's the slogan they have? Home of the burger family.
That's
yeah,
right.
Mama Burger, Papa Burger.
Teen Burger.
Teen Burger. I'm thinking... where are they getting the meat from for these burgers? Or maybe it's just they're trying to condition us to accept it.
Right. Now they got the Buddy Burger.
The Buddy Burger.
So you can get used to eating your buddy.
Eating your buddy inside the bread and with ketchup and relish and pickles. So...
they got Beyond Meat Burger.
Makes you wonder, what's Beyond Meat? What's that? Like your pet dog now as part of the hamburger?
Meat Plus.
Meat Plus. Is that like the... well, that's just maybe the vegetables in your garden. That's not
Apparently
bad.
now they can grow the meat right in the laboratory.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that too. So...
I don't know
so
about
maybe
that.
I will go. Maybe after reading and hearing about all these stories about cannibalism and making hamburgers and sausages of human meat, maybe I will go vegan and become a vegetarian.
Well, that's yeah.
But
you
and
can
the thing
still
about
eat at A&W.
the thing about vampires is you'll never find a vampire that's a vegan or vegetarian because they need the blood. But anyways, there's a fella by the name of Matthew Bunson who wrote a book called The Vampire Encyclopedia. And he says that as far as the origins of the vampires, like people think that it only goes as far back as, when Vlad the Impaler was around. But apparently, according to Matthew Bunson, who wrote the book Vampire Encyclopedia, he claims that the origins of the vampire go as far back as 3000 BC in the Indus Valley, northwestern part of India.
Yeah.
So these suckers... pardon the pun, have been around for a long time.
Yeah, well, that's what I heard this. There's a guy on the internet. He's a Christian now. Have you ever heard of this guy?
Yeah, the bearded guy.
Edward
He was in it. They talked about him, Edge of Wonder.
What's Edge of Wonder?
It's a show on YouTube where they interviewed the that guy that you said I talked about the Alpha Centauri people, and he's the one that broke the news on the Edge of Wonder about how Earth signed a special treaty with these beings from Alpha Centauri that allowed their inhabitants to live amongst us, and they chose 2 cities in America, one being Paradise, California, the other one being Las Vegas, Nevada. And Paradise, California was the city where the fire started in California. But the guy who broke the news broke it on a show on the internet called Edge of Wonder. And now I'm drawing a blank with the guy's name that broke the news. But when I mentioned him the last time, you said, oh, lately people... David Wilcock. Yeah,
I can't buy into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the guy that was first talking about all that.
I just want to say Edward Schnabelin, that's his name.
Yeah.
He's now a Christian
minister, he was an Age of Wonder. But
he was...
Vampire.
He was a vampire. He was
Coke addict.
Coke addict.
Mixes Coke with blood.
He was a high-level Satanist, super high-level Freemason. I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
He was on his way to becoming a Catholic priest.
Pretty scary stuff.
I mean, he's done everything. But after all that,
yeah,
he decided to, embrace Christianity.
Become a born-again Christian. But from what I can gather, in order for you to be a satanic priest, they say you first have to be a Catholic priest.
Well, that's right. That's what he says.
Yeah.
But he's not a Catholic priest. He's
But now he's born again.
He's a biblical scholar who believes in the Bible.
But he seems to be the guy these days in modern times that you can talk to. He's supposed to be knowledgeable.
I really like that guy. And he's hilarious. He's really funny, too.
Well, if he ever comes to Toronto, you got to get him on the show.
He's getting older now, so...
just to make sure that you wear garlic around your neck in case he slips back to his old ways and wants to bite your neck or something.
I actually really like that guy. Okay, what else, Rick? I don't know. I think we might have some other guests, but...
Yeah, this is the last thing we'll end it off here. Neil Armstrong was the first person to land on the moon. Neil A. backwards is alien. Wow. What a conspiracy theory. Was the first man that landed on the moon, was he an alien? Well, if you spell his name backwards, it spells alien.
Now, Rick, there's a whole school of thought that says that Neil Armstrong and Yuri Gagarin are actually the same person.
And some people believe that we never even went to the moon, that it was all Hollywood stuff produced by Stanley Kubrick, the same producer who produced 2001: A Space Odyssey, and also the film Eyes Wide Shut, who the Illuminati said, you got to release or cut out 20 minutes of your film before it's released. He refused, so they killed him. Yeah. And when they killed him, he died 666 days before January 1st, 2001. And he's the producer of 2001: A Space Odyssey. So there's a satanic connection there with the death of Stanley Kubrick. And they said he was the one that was actually filming what we saw on TV when they were telling us that they landed on the moon.
Now, so Rick, also he also was the guy behind the movie AI, but then for some reason either he was taken off or he dropped it, and Steven Spielberg had to finish it. But that was Stanley Kubrick's project.
That's
originally.
Amazing. Yeah.
I just want to ask you before we. This has been a lot of fun, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
But what about the mud flood? Dude, have you looked into the mud flood?
Anything to do with any connection with the black goo that you were talking about?
It's different than the black goo.
Okay, how different is it?
It's more like a brown goo.
Oh, there's a brown goo.
Ew,
so,
brown goo.
Is there going to be like a war between the black goo and the brown goo now?
Look. Okay, so maybe next time, just do a little research on the mud flood, on the Tartarian Empire, and then next time you come back, we can talk about that maybe.
Sounds good, Hugh. Always a pleasure being on your show and talking with you.
And Bernie, thanks for doing this today.
No problem.
Thank you, Bernie, for joining us.
Okay, Bernie's going to be in Rick's movie too, maybe.
As a Viking.
As a Viking, you make a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, I get the hair for it.
Yeah,
there you go.
Okay, so we're going to take a break. We got lots more coming. I'm not sure if I'll be back or if Daryl's going to be here, but we got lots of great guests today. So stay tuned, thatchannel.com. Right back.